Welcome to Quiet Faith Stories. This is a peaceful place to listen and reflect. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. As you listen, you may wish to quietly ponder the creation as it is described in Genesis chapters 1 and 2, Moses chapters 2 and 3, and Abraham chapters 4 and 5. By mine only begotten, I created these things. The Lord has said, by mine only begotten, I created these things. Although we do not know everything about how the world was created, God has chosen to reveal what He wants us to understand. In the Scriptures, we read of light and order, of land and water, of plants, animals, and living things, all created through Jesus Christ. As you ponder these accounts, you might gently ask yourself, what is God teaching me about the creation? Why might He want me to know these things? You may also consider what these scriptures teach you about Heavenly Father, about Jesus Christ, about the world He created, and about yourself. To enrich your quiet study, you might read these verses while outside, among trees, sky, or water, surrounded by God's creations. Or you might listen to a hymn like All Creatures of Our God and King, and let the music invite reverence for the Creator. You could notice images of the world, large or small, that help you feel gratitude and wonder. And if you feel prompted, you might share a picture, a thought, or a quiet testimony with someone else. Sometimes, simply noticing creation can help us feel closer to the one who created it. I am created in the image of God. God has taught us that we are created in His image. In the Scriptures, we learn that male and female were created in the likeness of God, with care, purpose, and love. To be created in God's image does not mean that we are perfect, but it does mean that we are intentional. It means we matter. As you ponder these truths, you might gently ask yourself, how does knowing I am created in God's image change the way I see myself? How does it change the way I see other people? How does it help me when I have hard or unkind thoughts about myself? You might complete a quiet sentence in your heart. Because I know I am created in God's image, I choose to... Our bodies are sacred gifts. They are not mistakes. They are not accidents. They are part of God's loving design. Heavenly Father wants us to feel respect, gratitude, and care for the bodies He has given us. Sometimes the world sends different messages that create shame, comparison, or doubt. But God's message is gentle and true. You are His creation. You are still growing. And with His help, you can become more than you are now. Marriage is ordained of God. Marriage between a man and a woman is ordained of God. From the beginning, God created man and woman to work together, to care for one another, and to grow together. In the Scriptures, we learn that Adam and Eve were joined together in marriage, not only for this life, but with eternal purpose. Marriage was not created by society. It was established by God as part of His loving plan. As you ponder these teachings, you might gently ask yourself, why does God treat marriage as sacred? What does this teach me about partnership, about commitment, and about love that lasts? Marriage, as God designed it, is meant to be a place of growth, where two imperfect people learn patience, service, and unity. It is a relationship that invites kindness, respect, and responsibility. Treating marriage as sacred does not mean it is always easy. It means it is worthy of care, honor, and protection. The Scriptures teach that men and women need one another and that neither is complete alone. God's design for marriage reflects His desire for connection, stability, and eternal belonging. As you reflect, you might consider one simple way to honor the sacredness of marriage, through respect, through faithfulness, or through speaking of it with reverence. Marriage is part of God's plan to help His children learn to love as He loves. I am responsible for caring for God's creations. From the beginning, God gave His children responsibility for the earth He created. In the Scriptures, we learn that the earth and all living things were placed in our care, not to be owned, but to be stewarded. God's creations are gifts. They provide food, beauty, shelter, and joy. They are meant to bless us and help us remember Him. As you ponder these teachings, you might gently ask yourself, what does it mean to care for something that belongs to God? How do my daily choices show gratitude for what He has created? The Lord teaches that the earth was made to be used with wisdom, with thankfulness, and with restraint. He reminds us that nothing was created in vain, and that all things are meant to be cared for with purpose and respect. Being a steward does not mean we must do everything. It means we do what we can, with kindness, with awareness, and with care. Caring for God's creations can be simple. It might look like noticing the beauty around you, using resources wisely, or treating the world with gentleness and respect. When we care for the earth, we show love for the giver of these gifts. And as we learn to be faithful stewards, we grow in gratitude, humility, and trust in God's plan. God blessed and sanctified the Sabbath day. From the beginning, God blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. After the work of creation, He rested, not because He was tired, but because the work was complete. The Sabbath was given as a gift, a day set apart, a day to pause to remember God and to feel His presence more fully. As you read the Scriptures, you might gently ask yourself, what makes the Sabbath feel blessed to me? When does it feel peaceful? When does it feel like rest? Not just for my body, but for my heart? God invites us to keep the Sabbath holy by turning toward Him, by setting aside the rush of the week, by choosing things that bring light, gratitude, and quiet joy. The Sabbath is not meant to feel heavy. It is meant to feel different. A softer day, a slower day, a day to worship, to learn, to love, and to remember what matters most. The Lord teaches that the Sabbath can be a delight, a time to feel renewed, strengthened, and gently guided. As you reflect, you might consider one small way to make the Sabbath feel more like a gift, through rest, through worship, or through doing something that helps you feel closer to God. The Sabbath is holy because God made it so, and when we receive it with care, it can become a blessing again and again. Thank you for being here with us. As you go, you may wish to notice how you are feeling or think about the story, or simply enjoy a peaceful moment. We hope you are feeling calm, peaceful, and cared for. You don't need to rush. This quiet place will be here whenever you want to come back.